Why all the moves? So let's start there. Why all these moves?
The way Kobe Altman described it, the GM yesterday, was I felt like I was witnessing a slow death march, and I didn't want to be a part of that anymore. And I determined we got to do something. And a lot of that was predicated by not only the players throughout the roster underperforming, i.e. Isaiah Thomas, but LeBron James. Kobe admitted on the phone call he had with reporters last night that the spirit that LeBron was playing with was not good enough, but he wasn't taking the blame on LeBron. He was putting it on himself and saying, I put together a roster that just didn't have the right fit. And, once you start to peel back the layers and you make one deal, it became clear that, maybe we can address something here. The Lakers deal, you get rid of Isaiah Thomas, you bring in a guy like Jordan Clarkson. But then you start to see, okay, well, I need to make subsequent deals to make this thing really work. And, by the end of it, he did 3 deals in about an hour. And the Cavs are a completely different team, and they have a completely different vibe. And it's kind of wild to think that, hey, you could change half your roster, and it could make you be in a better position, potentially make a run to the NBA Finals. But that is the feeling within the Cavs right now, that they're much better off right now to make a deep run in the playoffs than they were heading into yesterday.
Talking to Dave McMenamin on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And Dave, this group of 4 that got brought in of Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., George Hill, and Rodney Hood has kind of been lumped under the umbrella of this team got younger, it got longer, and it got better shooting and defense, especially on the perimeter. But when you look at each of these guys individually, is there one that you think, especially playing alongside LeBron James, could give them the biggest return early on this investment and all this change?
LeBron James, for the last several years, has been the most efficient player in the league in fast break opportunities, meaning there's no better offense you can run than have LeBron James with a head of steam in a 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 situation. If you put him next to Larry Nance in those fast break situations, I imagine that efficiency will only get better. What are you going to do if you're a defender? It's 2-on-1 and you have LeBron coming at you and Larry Nance coming at you on another wing. I mean, this would be Lob City. Hopefully, or the Cavs, I guess, in their case, hopefully, to have both those guys playing defensively along one another and being able to fly around the court, get deflections, get blocks, be a presence down low, something that the Cavs have kind of been lacking. That's the guy. I just think there is so many possibilities. And really, the Lakers teams that Larry played for the last couple of years weren't ever playing for anything. And it's interesting to see guys like that, whether they sink or swim when they come into a higher pressure situation. LeBron loves athletes, and there's been guys over the years that he's gotten so much. Think of Chris Anderson. When he shows up in Miami, he goes from being a journeyman to a key piece on a team that's playing for something every single night. That's kind of I'm interested to see if Larry Nance Jr. do the same thing.
We're talking to Dave McMenamin. Dave, you can't make a transaction on trade deadline day for the Cavs and not ask what it means for the future of LeBron. So with all of this reworking, what's your sense of what it does mean for his future?
Well, he's not going to change his process. He's going to make his decision at the end of the year, as he would have if they hadn't made any moves yesterday. Certainly, the people I spoke to yesterday that are close to LeBron or had spoken to LeBron since the deals happened described a very excited person, a happy person, and someone who felt a sense of relief that the Cavs made those deals that were necessary. So, I think the Cavs only helped their lot by the moves that they made yesterday. But again, I think winning could be the best chance to keep LeBron in Cleveland. And, they have all these new pieces. They still have to mesh together, even though, they did take care of some chemistry things yesterday.
As far as like the basketball people, do they believe that the Cavs are now the best team in the East again, better than Boston, better than Toronto at this point?
Toronto has been kind of the darling of a lot of scouts this year, not only because just their record, but they have the continuity that the other teams in the East don't. And the vibe has changed there, where Dwayne Casey has shown some flexibility in terms of changing up his offense, and while still having the buy-in from all-star backcourt DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. So I'm not so sure that already, sight unseen, the Cavs have leapfrogged above everybody out there. But certainly there's a lot more people when you talk to them that think that, okay, if this is what it takes for LeBron to be engaged like he was the other night against Minnesota Timberwolves, and that level of engagement with a bunch of young, active bodies around him, this is going to be a team that's got to be reckoned with.
Dave, when we look at the future now outside of just this season, I know the first thought that popped into a lot of people's minds, especially when they saw the way things were shaping up financially for the Lakers, was the thought that the Cavs actually made it easier for them to clear space for LeBron coming up the following summer. How much do you buy into that?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. One, the Lakers are going to clear space no matter what if they believe they had a shot at LeBron. So, why hurt your team in the short term for something like that in the long term that you really don't have any control over? If LeBron wants to go there, he's going to go there no matter what. And two, well, LeBron doesn't like playing with Isaiah Thomas. So you just said that Isaiah Thomas there, so if the Lakers plan on re-signing him, maybe you didn't, open up, that opportunity. But, again, the Cavs saw a chance to address a need, and the Lakers provided them with two players that they feel will be an immediate part of their rotation. And, again, they parted with their own first-round pick, held on to the Brooklyn Nets first-round pick, which they didn't want to trade, and they accomplished that. So if LeBron ends up going to the Lakers, the Cavs will always look like there's egg on their face for this deal. But, quite frankly, this deal could have nothing to do with LeBron going there or not, because there's 28 other teams that the Lakers could have found a taker to clear up cap space.
You can follow him on Twitter at Mick10 to keep up on all things Cavs. Our ESPN Cavs reporter, Dave McMenamin. Dave, thanks for the time, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
That's cool he got to go to the game.
Yeah.
Grow up a Phillies fan and got to go with his brother and hang out there. That had to be kind of neat for him.
I said it was sort of interesting to watch, whether it was on our air. Obviously, Kevin Nagandi was out there the other day, to see the people that work and cover sports get to embrace that moment as much as the fans around there. It's a nice reminder that the reason a lot of people got into this was to cover and talk about the teams that they grew up loving. And Dave, even though it's outside of his sport, got that moment as well.
I will be insufferable for a very long time should my beloved Raiders win a Super Bowl.
Boy.
Just so we know. I mean,
You got the coach back.
I threatened to just camp out here under the desk and just pop out and be like, Coach. But he was never in here when I was around.
I think there's a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably a fair point. Yeah. Now I'll just knock on his door on the weekend and be like, hey, Coach. See, maybe unlike the goal, he'll answer. Coming up, a Hall of Famer was